What's up, everybody? I'm the name of the YouTube channel that you're currently watching, and I'm doing another deck profile thingy where I copy and paste some decks that I saw off of Duel Links meta and pretend like I'm credible enough to talk about them. Last time I talked about TGs, and you should totally check out that video even though it's way too long, and this time I'm going to be going over Amazoness. With the March 2021 Banlist in effect, Amazon's Onslaught was moved from limited to 1 status to limited to 3. A lot has changed in the meta, and while the things that made this deck powerful back in the day still make it powerful, the deck is nowhere near as broken as it once was. Decks nowadays have a lot more tools to deal with Onslaught, and considering Onslaught's effects are largely battle phase oriented, it can lead to underwhelming scenarios where your board is getting picked off slowly before you even get to the battle phase. That being said, once set up, the deck has some broken board states, and it's hilarious ramming 3 low monsters into a board of blue eyes only to watch them scoop. So now we'll go over to Decklist. We'll skip straight to Amazon's Onslaught, which like I said is your main win con. It's a continuous trap that allows you to banish any monster your Amazon's card's battle. It's not a once per turn effect, so if your opponent tries to ram all their monsters into yours, they could expect to lose their entire board. The card also special summons an Amazon's monster from your hand during either player's battle phase and grants that monster a 500 attack boost until the end of that turn. Finally, if Amazon's Onslaught is destroyed and sent to their grave, you can special summon an Amazon's monster from the grave. All this to say that this is 100% a 3 of, which is fine because it's an R rarity card in Valiant Souls. Even though that's an old box, at least you'll be able to get your Canadia, baby! Regarding monsters, first we have Amazon's Princess, your Searchy boy, aka your 3 of. You can get this from most UR tickets, maybe even all UR tickets you get nowadays. Just don't use your dream ticket on this, please. Princess adds an Amazon spell trap from your deck to your hand when normal or special summoned, which, spoiler alert, it's probably going to be Amazon's Onslaught, in most cases though. Also, when it attacks, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon an Amazon's monster from your deck in face-up defense position. It's a nice 1-for-1 that lets you swarm, and in some situations you can garner advantage with this effect. It's also counted as Amazon's queen on the field or grave or something, so karma cut on your actual queen equals rip. Speaking of queen, we have Amazon's Queen, your only high-level main deck monster. Their effect is simply to prevent your Amazon's monsters from being destroyed by battle, queen included. The effect seems underwhelming on the surface, but ties in with the swarming, battle-oriented strategy the deck opts to overwhelm the opponent with, and it's relatively easy to turbo out of the hand/deck. Think of it this way, why lose the monsters that help make Onslaught so powerful when you could just not? We played this at once since we only have 1 copy available, and you can get it by leveling up Mai to level 45. Amazon's Swordswoman makes your opponent take any battle damage you would take instead. It's an okay effect that synergizes with the battle-oriented nature of the strategy, but doesn't do much beyond that. We only played 2 copies because it's limited to 2, which makes it seem broken on the surface, but TBH's limit was more so for reining in stall strategies from back in the day rather than Amazoness itself. Within Amazoness, the effect is a nice benefit that could help put some pressure on your opponent while keeping your life points saved during their turn, but you're rarely going to win a duel from this nowadays. Free to play though, so get it from those SR tickets if you need. Next up is Amazon's Sage. It's your awkward back row Destructy boy. Basically, after this card attacked, if it's still around, you can target 1 spell trap your opponent controls and destroy it. 0 to 1 of, we played at 1 here. It's nice to have an archetype removal, but in most cases, you want to destroy your opponent's back row before you even get to the battle phase, hell, before you even make your plays. Still, it can put pressure on your opponent in certain situations, forcing them to use their back row while keeping a more important monster in hand to summon off of Onslaught during the battle phase after you've cleared that back row. It's also available in the SR tickets, so it's super free. Finally, we have Amazoness Baby Tiger, your special summon boy. When you normally special summon an Amazoness, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard as a hard once per turn. It also becomes Amazon's Tiger on the field or grave or something and gains 100 attack for each Amazoness card in your graveyard, but we don't really care about those effects in most cases. A seemingly underwhelming card on the surface, Baby Tiger helps the deck maintain board presence and advantage. With Onslaught set up, anytime you clear your Baby Tiger, your opponent has to deal with it again anytime you summon an Amazoness monster, forcing them to commit another monster just to clear your board. With Onslaught set up, Baby Tiger helps protect you from aggressive pushes where the opponent would otherwise be able to clear your front row. A 1 to 2 of, I prefer to play 2 since it's nice to start with it, and we don't have much better cards to play at TBH. Wish it had a better level though. Also, it's an R rarity card in Valiant Souls, so get your copies while digging for Onslaught while digging for Canadia. Since we're talking about ramming low attack monsters into your opponent's monsters, let's talk about our skill for a moment. We play Holy Guard, which prevents you from taking battle damage during your turn. It seems like a meme skill on the surface, and my tryhard mode really wants to play something like Endless Trap Hell instead, but Holy Guard lets you make so many more aggressive pushes that you otherwise wouldn't be able to make, especially with so many high attack and high defense monsters in the current meta. We're vulnerable enough as is during your opponent's turn that we do kind of need to be able to minimize the amount of battle damage we take during our own turn. Holy Guard is pretty easy to obtain, thankfully, available with both iterations of Taya, Blair Shenanigan, and I believe Luna gets it as well. Finally, we have Amazoness Willpower, the last Amazoness card that we play. It's a trap card that lets you special summon an Amazoness monster from your grave in attack position, and basically turns it into a Karakuri monster by forcing its attack whenever it can. It can change its battle position and dies whenever willpower is removed, so important to keep that in mind. Another card we get from SR tickets, usually play once and it's searchable off of Princess. It's a nice way to resummon Princess for more searches, resummon a destroyed Amazoness Queen, or just put more pressure on your opponent in general. Now onto our techs. We have 3 Book of Moon because I paid money in this game and I want everybody to know it. Replacing it with Canadia is fine though, especially since you're opening Valiant Souls anyway, apparently. The versatility of Book of Moon to stop things like Bouncer turn 1 is valuable, but you'll live without it. Just slightly less. We also play Fiendish Chain. In this build, I only played 2 copies just because I only have 2 copies on this account because apparently I'm not enough of a whale, but I'd play 3 if I could. One of the scariest matchups IMO is Thunder Dragons, where one Leviathan non-targeting double pop is able to win the game on its own. Fiendish Chain helps make that matchup slightly more possible though by negating Leviathan's effect and can't be chain blocked, but TBH, it is still an uphill battle. Fiendish is nice in Amazons in general too, as any dead Fiendish you have left on the field can be sent to the grave with Princess's effect to special summon an Amazons monster from the deck, allowing you to maintain value while unclogging your board. Finally, we have Forbidden Landsat 2. Honestly, I thought this would come up more for its versatility of back row protection and attack reduction in a battle-oriented deck. However, in practice, it didn't seem worth the TBH. The deck typically wants the triple back row set, and with multiple continuous traps in Fiendish Chain and Onslaught, you run into situations where keeping Forbidden Lance in your hand while waiting for your opponent to use their back row during your battle phase means you can't set another important spell trap that you really wanted to set. The attack reduction also doesn't matter in all situations, as your Amazoness monsters have such little attack beyond Queen that many relevant monsters are still too strong to be outed. It's still nice in general situations, but I'd replace this with 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon, since some back row hate is still nice in certain matchups. You can't run Cosmic Cyclone since it competes with Onslaught in your limited 3 slot, but that's fine since MST apparently negates, and that's a meme that I get. Other techs to consider are Forbidden Chalice, a replacement for Fiendish Chain to negate something like Divine Near, Floodgate Trap Hole to bully your opponent's board, hell, even Wall of Deep, though that means you're super vulnerable until your battle phase. Abyss Scorn is another spicy tech that people have been toying around with, basically taking a page from the Cyber Dragon handbook. We ignore the first effect and move on to the second effect, which is when this set card is sent to the graveyard, you target 1 monster your opponent controls and send that target to the graveyard. Why you would care about this effect in the first place is because you could set this card and then go on and declare an attack with Amazon's Princess, sending the Abyss Scorn to the graveyard from the field while it's set, to then special summon Amazon's monster from your deck off the Princess effect. And since Abyss Scorn was set when it was sent to the graveyard, you could then non-destructively remove a monster your opponent controls. It's worth noting that some people play Amazon Spy at 1 to 2 copies. It's a level 3 that lets you special summon itself from the hand by revealing another Amazon's monster in your hand. Once destroyed by battle, you could add another Amazon's monster from your graveyard back to your hand or deck, except a copy of Amazon Spy. In theory, the card is nice as it could give you added swarm potential and recursion, but in practice, I found that I'd much rather start with Baby Tiger over Spy, so I opted to add another copy of Baby Tiger over the 1 copy of Spy and 1 copy of Tiger I initially played. The add back to the hand effect being limited to battle destruction is too easy to play around, and I found it usually wouldn't come up until late game, during which you usually either be winning or losing, and this effect is too slow to change that in a lot of situations. Being level 3, the card may see more play if we get significantly more worthwhile rank 3 extra deck monsters to go into. And finally, the extra deck. Honestly, the extra deck was kind of thrown together and is likely not optimal. The deck kind of suffers in that it's a mishmash of different levels, ranging from 2 to 4, with Queen being the odd level 6. As such, having the levels needed to go into a rank whatever is rare, as you're usually looking at a board of 3 different level monsters instead. And in certain situations where you do have an extra deck play, it's usually not worth the investment since that means you're not benefiting from Onslaught, which is your win con. That said, it's here to be a toolbox, so put in whatever you feel like you'd want to out in a crazy once in every 50 duel situation. In this build, the rank 3s come up whenever you have 2 Princess on the field. I put in Nightmare Shark for the potential 2k direct attack cheese. I also put in Giga Brilliant so I could rank it up to Corebage to bounce the defense position monster back to the deck, and then rank it up to Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger to hopefully go for game. I also put in Ghostrick Alucard for face down back row pops, but honestly, this pretty much never comes up since you'd rarely commit 2 level 3s to try to pop a back row that honestly you probably already feel a delay for, so that obvious karma cut is just going to respond to Alucard trying to pop it to banish Alucard anyway, leaving you down 2 resources overall. The rank 4s come up when you have Sage and Swordswoman or 2 Swordswomen on the field. I play Malevolent Sin since the Spooter is a good boy with its temporary banish, and I guess you could technically rank it up to Corebage as well. I also play Diamond Direwolf in case I need to pop something. You technically can play a rank 2 as well for when you have double Baby Tiger on the field, which can come up, but the current rank 2 pool doesn't feel worth the slot. When we get a bigger pool though, I'm sure it'll be something to consider. Okay, and that's the deck profile. Now I'm gonna go comment on some replays again. Alright, now we are going first against Yusei Fudo, playing themselves a 22 card deck. This would make me think that this might be Thunder Dragons. We'll see what happens though. We got ourselves a pretty nice hand to start. No Fiendish though if it is Levine near strats. So we're gonna go ahead and normal summon the Princess, and we're gonna chain the Baby Tiger special summon from the hand, and we're gonna search from the deck to the hand the Onslaught number 2. May as well have 2. We're going to go set a back row or 2, and we're going to end our turn. We're going to keep our field a little unclogged and keep the second onslaught in the hand in case something like Levian or pop-up is something we want to deal with. So at least we still have a follow-up onslaught for the next turn to be able to do shenanigans with. So they go ahead, activate Dragon Dark, discarding it to add another Dragon Dark from the deck to the hand. They normal summon Raiden. Raiden is going to mill 2, mill Levian and Dragon Hawk. They have Levian live, and of course they always have Levian in hand. They're going to banish 3, including a dark and a light attribute, so that they could double pop with Levian. They are going to activate Dragon Hawk's effect when banished to be able to do the not the searchy, the mulligan. We're going to respond with Forbidden Lance onto the Raiden, reducing its attack by 800 and kind of prompting them to destroy our other back row as well as our monster instead of just our back row. And since they fell for the bait of destroying our princess, we are now going to be activating Onslaught's effect to be able to special summon the princess back to the field when the Onslaught's destroyed, which means we get to search with Princess effect a willpower, getting ourselves at least some more advantage. They're going to then go into the battle phase, attacking to our baby tiger and ending their turn. That Forbidden Lance was clutch in preventing the Raiden from killing the princess. They mill 2 in the end phase, milling Lupine and Dragon Dark. We're going to go ahead, we're going to rip into the sage, we're going to double back row set, we're going to normal summon our sage, and we're going to activate the effect of the Amazon's baby tiger to special summon from the graveyard, and we're going to go into the battle phase. We're going to send that baby tiger to the graveyard so we can special summon from the deck an Amazon's queen in response to the attack onto the Raiden. So even though we don't get to kill the Raiden, we get ourselves another monster, we don't have to lose our princess, and we don't take any battle damage thanks to our skill. They're going to go ahead, they're going to normal summon a Loof Lupine, obviously having the perfect resources to banish, banishing from the hand the Dragon Dark, to banish from the deck the Dragon Roar, allowing them to add a Duel from deck to the hand with Dragon Dark's effect, and no room to special summon with Dragon Roar's effect. Level duplication is here, revealing a Dragon Duo to make the Raiden level 8. We have ourselves a rank 8 play. Heliopolis is here, and it makes me feel scared. Heliopolis is going to detach to pop 3 by tributing 3, popping only our front row. They are going aggressive here. They're saying, no way are you going to get me with that freaking Amazon's Onslaught nonsense. So in the battle phase of their turn, after summoning the Dragon Duo, we're going to go activate our Amazon's Willpower to special summon from the graveyard the Amazon's Queen in attack position, which is going to allow us to special summon the Amazon's Baby Tiger from the graveyard in defense position. Knowing now that they can't add our monsters, they scoop it up. Alright, now we are going second against Reginald Shark Castle. Abyss Dweller can kind of bully us with the infantry pop detach, but at the very least we have ourselves some good effects to be able to bully them as well, depending on what the game state is. We'll see how we do though. They're gonna go first with the ideal Deep Sea Diva summon, summoning the infantry from the deck. Additionally, normal summon the Ghostrick Chain to not add a ritual spell monster, but to instead stack their deck while having a big boy level 4 Sea Serpent monster. They're gonna activate Territory to Sharks so they can make both the Diva and the infantry level 4, and they're going to go into an Abyss Dweller with infantry as one of its materials. They're going to set a backer and they're going to end their turn. So we have to play this a little cautiously. We're going to go ahead and normal summon the Princess. We're going to add from the deck to the hand the Onslaught. We're going to double back row set, and we are going to go into the battle phase to see if we can bait out their infantry pop. We don't actually want to activate our Princess effect, especially with Queen on the field, or in the hand rather, so we're just going to end our turn. They're going to go now, they're going to attack into the Princess with the Ghostrick Chain. We're going to respond with a Book of Moon, flipping down their Abyss Dweller. The reason we do this is to prevent them from being able to actually pop with the infantry the Onslaught. So now Onslaught is live. That's going to allow us to banish the Ghostrick Chain. However, the princess does get destroyed in the process. Now, we do have to play around some potential treacherous trap hole shenanigans here. We normal summon the Sage to put some pressure on that soul backer they have, attacking to their face down Abyss Dweller, successfully getting to banish it, and then since we battled with Sage and still on the field, we get to pop that back row, and it was a treacherous trap hole. Get bullied. Alright, we are going first. We got ourselves a DSOD Taya mirror match. Let's see if they're also playing Holy Guard. We got Holy Guard, they got Holy Guard. This might just potentially be an Amazoness mirror match. We're going to go off and we're going to start with the normal summon of our Amazoness Princess, allowing us to add the Amazoness Onslaught from the deck to the hand. We set our Fiendish and we set our Onslaught and we end our turn. We decided not to summon the Baby Tiger from the hand because we wanted to kind of keep it hidden so that they don't quite know what's in store for them in case they do decide to go for an aggressive push. So they're going to start off summoning their own Amazoness Princess to attempt to search, but Fiendish Chain gonna negate. Now we didn't set our second Fiendish just because we then have 3 continuous traps on the field, and that might get a little cloggy here. So they're gonna set 2 back row and they're gonna end their turn. We're going to go ahead. We're going to set our second Fiendish Chain now. And we're going to attack into their Amazoness Princess. Now, our main value off of this Fiendish Chain over here was to be able to stop the search effect of the Amazoness Princess. Being able to negate its attack and preventing it to special summon from the deck is nice, but if we get rid of it here, it doesn't matter. So we may as well use this Fiendish Chain as a resource with Amazon's Princess effect so we can special summon another Amazoness from the deck. They go ahead, they flip up their Amazon's Onslaught that they didn't even need to search. They can special summon from the hand an Amazoness Queen to protect from battle destruction. Well, that's okay. We don't need to destroy by battle. We can just banish you. Redirecting our attack into the Amazoness Princess, we go ahead and try to banish them by flipping up the Amazon's Onslaught. They respond with a Canadia to flip down our princess, but we respond with our Forbidden Lance to say, hey, this is useful sometimes, preventing us from getting flipped face down and successfully destroying the Amazoness Queen. By banishing it, not destroying it. You know, terminology is hard for me. That's fine, though. Alright, they are going to attempt to banish Princess, but it is unaffected by spell traps, so it gets destroyed instead. Now, in this situation, I had opted to summon Sage just to put some pressure on their back row, but thinking back to it, if I summoned the Amazoness Queen here, we actually would have been in a situation where we'd be able to keep our Princess and bully them even further for the next turn. But a lot of times in the mirror match, I opt not to summon the Queen just because it's so easy to get rid of, as we did for theirs, but it would have been a good thing to consider in that specific situation. But no worries, we go ahead and summon the Amazoness Baby Tiger from the hand with Onslaught's effect to attack into their Amazoness Princess. We lose our Amazoness Baby Tiger, but they lose their Princess as well, and we have a monster on the field while they don't, so we're kind of in the advantage here. They're gonna set a back row, they're going to normal summon an Amazon Swordswoman, and they attack into our Sage. We're gonna go ahead, activate our Onslaught to banish theirs, they're gonna activate their Onslaught to banish ours, and now it's a top deck situation. We're gonna draw into Book of Money, and we're a little sad. We probably should have summoned the Queen off of that previous turn, but that's okay. It's okay, I swear. Alright, they're gonna top deck into the Spell Trap as well and end their turn. We're gonna top deck into another Onslaught. We're feeling sad. And this is a situation where this is kind of where I get a little annoyed from the deck, because we do run into a lot of situations where the top deck can be a little difficult. Alright, they're gonna normal summon their Amazon's Princess. We're gonna respond with our second Fiendish Chain negate, saying no you. They're gonna respond with Canadia summoned from the graveyards in attack position, and they're going to attack directly for 1200. They are now putting more pressure on us than we're putting on them. Okay, but we top into the Baby Tiger, but we decided to keep it in hand and end our turn. They're going to attack with the Canadia, and in the battle phase, we're going to respond with the Onslaught, special summoning the Baby Tiger in defense position, to which they respond with an odd Canadia, but maybe just to clear their back row to make room for something else. They're going to attack with Canadia into the Baby Tiger, which is going to allow us to banish the Canadia, which would have been banished regardless of how it left the field. But now Baby Tiger's in the graveyard for subsequent follow-up plays. We're going to draw into another back row, so we're just going to end their turn. They're going to draw into another back row, potentially, and end their turn. I didn't actually see if that's what they topped into, but whatever. We're going to go ahead and normal summon our Amazon's Princess. We're going to add from the deck to the hand, while also special summoning the Baby Tiger from the graveyard. They're going to respond with Floodgate Trap Hole. We're going to respond with Book of Moon on our Princess so that it does not get permanently flipped face down, which means if it's still up next turn, we could use that Princess again as anything. We're going to search with the Princess the Amazon's Willpower. We're going to put the Baby Tiger in attack position. We're going to set our Amazon's Willpower. We're going to attack into their Princess, banishing it, resulting in our own Baby Tiger getting banished. And that's the end of our turn. They're going to go ahead, they're going to pass. So now we have ourselves some pressure with our Princess, which they're going to immediately Floodgate again. That's 2 Floodgates that we got to bait out with that one Princess at the very least. So they're going to respond with second Canadia summon, bullying us with their 1200 attack beat 6. We're going to flip up the Amazon's Willpower, allowing us to special summon from the graveyard another Princess. Princess is going to allow us to add our third Onslaught from the deck to the hand. We're going to go ahead, we're going to activate the Onslaught's effect in the battle phase now to special summon our third Princess with 1700 attack, so we could go and beat over this Canadia. Princess is going to send the Floodgated Princess from the field to the graveyard to special summon an Amazon Swordswoman from the deck. We're going to deal 500, we're going to banish, we're going to deal 1200, and we're going to end our turn. Suddenly we have more advantage now. They're going to normal summon Amazon's Tiger, the regular one, and they're going to attack into our Amazon's Princess, which is going to kill us, but we're also going to banish them, so that's fine. Alright, and that's looks like we're pretty much chilling now. We draw into our Amazon's Queen, we could force out their back row, and then if it's like a Drowning Mirror Force or something, we could then summon the Queen afterwards in the battle phase. So this is GG. Amazon Princess is going to do the big bully though, so that we could send our Dead Fiendish Chain to the graveyard so we can special summon another Amazon Swordswoman from the deck onto the field, just because we can. That's GG. Alright, now we are going first against Seto Kaiba. Let's see if we got Ultimate Dragons. We got ourselves Ultimate Dragons. We're going to start off with Princess because we always need our searchy boy. Princess is going to allow us to add the Onslaught from the deck to the hand. We're going to triple back row set, and we're going to end their turn. They're going to go ahead and norm summon their own searcher, Sage with Eyes of Black, to which we respond with no search for you. Fiendish Chain going to negate. Let's see if they have more plays. They don't have an alternative or an ancient rule summon, so they're going to set a back row and end their turn. We go straight into the battle phase. We attack into the Sage with the Princess, sending that Fiendish Chain that's no longer irrelevant to the graveyard to be able to special summon from the deck, but they respond with the ultimate Providence, discarding Dragon Spirit of White to negate and destroy us. However, we flip up our Amazon's Onslaught so we can special summon from the hand of the Sage, so we can continue to bully them, and to successfully banish that Sage with Eyes of Blue with our own Sage and deal 1900 damage to them. They're going to go ahead, they're going to normal summon their second Sage, and that one successfully gets to search the White Sun of Ancients. They're then going to go ahead, set another back row, and end their turn. If we top deck any monster, we probably win. So, we're going to normal summon the Princess, we're going to add from the deck to the hand the Willpower. We know that they've already used a trap, so we don't have to play around Treacherous Trap Hole anymore. We're going to go ahead, and we wanted to do it this way rather than getting the 500 attack boost with Princess, because it would have been nice to be able to actually set the Willpower this turn. So, we attempt to attack for 1400, but Raigeki Break is going to discard a White Stone of Ancients to destroy our Sage. We're going to kill the Sage with our Amazon's Princess, banish again, and we end our turn. They're going to activate the White Stone of Ancients effect in the end phase to special summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Thankfully, they had started with the Dragon Spirit of White, so we didn't have to worry about that banishing us. However, since we had so many Amazon's Onslaughts already, we didn't really have to worry too much about it. The effect of the Dragon Spirit of White in this game state. They banished on their turn the White Stone of Angels to add Dragon Spirit of White from the graveyard back to the hand and go into the battle phase to attack our Princess, to which we respond with, okay, get banished. We'll just respond with a Willpower, special summon from the graveyard, and then we'll beat you next turn. And I think they knew that, so that's the scoop. Alright, we are going second. We have a replay versus Yusei Fudo. They got themselves a 21 card deck. I'm still going to presume Thunder Dragons, but we'll see what happens. Our hand is kind of okay. We have Onslaught, we have Baby Tiger, we've got Swords of Woman. That's fine. We got ourselves a tech. We got Book of Moon. No Fiendish if this is Thunder Dragons though, so let's see how sad we are. They're going to always activate the charge of the Light Brigade to add Rider from the deck to the hand, mill in a Sphyrkaribo, a Duo, and a Dragon Roar. They're going to normal summon that Rider. They're going to mill 2 more, mill in a Melody, as well as Dragon Roar, activating level duplication, revealing Dragon Hawk in hand to make the Raiden level 6. Going to activate Dragon Hawk so they can special summon from the graveyard the Dragon Roar. They're going to go ahead and make the Photon Strike Bouncer, and they're going to end their turn. They have Levy set up galore, so let's see how much we can deal with this. We topped into the Fiendish Chain, so we feel a lot safer now. We're going to triple back our set, we're going to set our Baby Tiger, and we're going to end our turn. We figure we don't want them to know 100% that we have Amazonus, even though it's most likely Amazonus with this skill. So we're going to keep our strategy hidden. They are going to go ahead and banish 3, so they can special summon Levianeer. They banish Roar, so that means they're going to be able to chain block potentially, but chain block ain't going to chain block the Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain on the Levianeer to prevent it from double popping. Dragon Roar is going to special summon from the deck the Dragon Dark. They're going to go ahead, tribute over to Dragon Dark, a Dragon Roar. Dragon Dark sent from the field to the graveyard is going to allow them to add a Dragon Hawk from the deck to the hand. And they're going into the battle phase. Dragon Roar is going to attack into our face down monster. We're going to flip up the Amazon's Onslaught, which means that Baby Tiger is going to be able to banish that Dragon Roar. And since it already activated its effect once this turn, it's not going to be able to do it again. Alright, now they're going to go attack with the Strike Bouncer into our life points directly. We're going to activate Onslaught's effect to special summon the Amazon Swordswoman in attack position. And since we summoned an Amazon's monster, we're going to be able to special summon that Baby Tiger from the graveyard again, recouping some advantage here. So they end their turn knowing exactly what would happen here. Okay, so we're going to go draw. We're going to go straight into the battle phase, and we're going to attack the Levianeer, banishing it. Now, my thought process here was that, honestly, I didn't want to keep their... I didn't want to help set up their graveyard, which is why I decided to attack the Levianeer instead of the Bouncer. I was looking at their grave, and I thought, okay, we have Duo and Dark, and if I kill the Bouncer, Levianeer will be live because they have themselves a light material that'll go to the graveyard. So if we kill the Levianeer, at least it'll get banished. That means their graveyard is still not set up. However, I completely ignored the fact that last turn, they searched themselves a Dragon Hawk when they tributed over to Dragon Dark. So really, I should have attacked the Bouncer, but I didn't. So whoopsie. But I guess you could argue that if they had a Duo for a follow-up, we wouldn't have to worry about the Heliopolis play for the follow-up play. But we have Book of Moon set anyways, so it wasn't really that relevant of a play around. So we misplayed. That's okay. We get rid of their Levianeer. They go ahead, activate Dragon Hawk's effect, special summoning the Dragon Roar. I guess you could say this at least forces them to make the Dragon Roar play earlier. But yeah, this isn't the way. It's okay though, as they obviously have their second Levianeer. Who needs to have Melody when you can just have 2 2 Levineers anyway. Banishing 3 to be able to double pop. We decided to flip up our Book of Moons so that we could not only protect ourselves by flipping down the Dragon Roar that was just summoned this turn, but also force them to destroy the only 2 live cards left, which is our Baby Tiger as well as the Amazon's Onslaught. And since Amazon's Onslaught was destroyed, we get to special summon the Swordswoman from the graveyard. And since Amazon Swordswoman was special summoned, we could special summon the Baby Tiger from the graveyard, continuously maintaining advantage. To contribute over their flip down Book of Moons Dragon Roar to normal summon the Dragon Dark, which made me mad because I really wanted to do more damage with the Swordswoman cheese. So they're going to kill the Swordswoman. They're going to attack with the Bouncer into the Baby Tiger, and they're going to completely clear our board. So we are now top decking. And the top deck is beautiful as we top into the Amazon's Princess. Now you might say, but Bouncer negates, right? That's almost true, but we have Baby Tiger in the graveyard to respond to the Princess normal summon, which means we get to chain block the Bouncer from the negate, which means we successfully get to search our next Amazon's Onslaught. We set both the Onslaught and the Willpower end our turn. Now if we did get rid of the Bouncer the previous turn, we would have been able to go ahead and special summon from the deck something, but that's okay. Do we have, if we don't have Queen live in this duel yet, so if we did clear the Bouncer, we would have been able to attack one of their monsters and special summon the Queen just for further bullying, but since we didn't think ahead, we fucked up, but that's okay. They're gonna go ahead, attack into the Princess with the Levianeer, and Onslaught's going to banish that Levianeer. They're going to attack into the Baby Tiger with the Dragon Dark, banishing that Dragon Dark. Nothing left for them to search after the Dragon Dark gets banished, so they're going to attempt to attack for game, but we're going to respond with Amazon's Willpower, special summoning the Amazon Swordswoman yet again in attack position, allowing us to resummon that Baby Tiger again, and realizing they're done goofed, they're going to go and scoop it up. And that's how you beat double Levy Pop. I mean, one of them we negated, but whatever. Alright, we are going second against Reginald Shark Castle. Again, a very difficult match. We are going to see how well we can play around the basically quick effect pop on your turn nonsense shenanigans. They're going to go ahead and normal summon the Deep Sea Diva because of course. Special summoning from the deck the Infantry, activating Territory to Sharks to make both level 4, going into a turn 1 Abyss Dweller with the Infantry pop live, going to set 2 back row and going to end their turn. We're going to go ahead, we're going to normal summon our Amazon's Princess. We're going to add from deck to the hand our second Onslaught, but they don't know that. We're going to set our Forbidden Lance as well as both Onslaughts, and we're going to go and watch as they activate the Infantry's effect so that they could, after detaching with the Abyss Dweller, so they could pop our Princess. Probably too early, but that's okay. We were going to try to bait it out by going to battle phase, but they made it easier for us. It's now their turn. They're going to special summon the Silent Angler for more bully attacking, I guess. They're going to attack directly for 1300s, which we respond with Amazon's Onslaught, special summoning from the hand, the Amazon's Swordswoman. Feel free to destroy our Swordswoman. As they choose not to, we're going to go draw into our Queen. We're going to attack with the Swordswoman into their Abyss Dweller, and we're going to successfully banish their Dweller. Since we lost our Swordswoman, and since we now have ourselves one less monster to be Treacherous Trap hold with, we're going to activate Onslaught's effect to special summon from the hand, or attempt to, as they respond with MST actually negating, but we respond with our second Onslaught, and since the special summon from the hand is not a hard once per turn effect, we could use that second Onslaught to successfully special summon the Sage. Sage is going to go and attack, while the Princess is going to be special summoned off of Onslaught getting destroyed. This does make us vulnerable to Treacherous Trap Hole. However, we do get some more advantage being able to add from deck to the hand the Onslaught. We attempt to attack into the Angler, but Treacherous Trap Hole says, I always have Treacherous Trap Hole. We are going to be able to respond with a Forbidden Lance so that we can protect at the very least our Sage, but they respond with the double Treacherous Trap Hole because of course they had double Treacherous Trap Hole, successfully outplaying us with their skillful Diva double Tretch turn 1. And that's the end of our turn. We have ourselves Amazon's Queen in the hand to bully them potentially for the follow-up. They are going to keep their monster in attack. They're going to attack for 800, to which we respond with, Big Boy, Amazon's Queen is here. Feel free to feel fear. All right, it's now our turn. We're going to set another Amazon Salsa just because we can. We're going to set our Book of Moon, and we're going to attack directly nothing because they have a monster. We're going to attack for 20 into their Angler, to which they respond with the Book of Moon. Something goes down. They're definitely trying to top deck another monster to go into more rank 4 more plays with, but we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. However, they do top into their Buzzsaw Shark. To prevent them from being able to garner advantage off that Buzzsaw Shark, we respond with Book of Moon to flip down that Buzzsaw Shark. They put their Angler in defense position, and they end their turn. We top it to an Amazoness Princess. We normal summon that Princess, allowing us to add a willpower from the deck to the hand, and we've go set that willpower. We flip up that Queen, and it's time for the Mega Bully time. We're going to banish the Buzzsaw Shark, we're going to banish the Angler, and that's the end of our turn. Good luck coming back from this one as they scoop it up. Okay, those are all my replays and all my commentations and all that. I don't really know how to sign off on these things, but something like, comment, subscribe. Is that even relevant? I don't know. Just do what you gotta do.